What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Stuff of Legend. My name is D'Lo, and I have another video for you, and today it's going to be super awesome. I've been putting off making videos more, I usually do like a lot of topics at once, and I try to cover a lot of things. Honestly, with this coronavirus situation, it's been quite dead, but there's some really cool news, and I think it's going to bleed into a lot of exciting things to come, so I'm very optimistic here. I'm going to shift my screen now so you guys can see my face, and I hope that you guys are having a good day. It's been actually, I live in California. It's been some really good weather lately, so that's nice. Been hanging out in the backyard, getting somewhat of a sunburn, which is nice. Yeah, it's been great. So backyard with the kids. Hope you guys are having a good time. Now, to get back to the news, let's get into this because there's a little bit to cover here. A couple of points I wanted to point out, but it's going to build into the main topic, which is the theory that I have based on a very cryptic social media post by none other than Ray Park, the Darth Maul actor. So he doesn't do the voice for Darth Maul, but he does the body and the motion not motion capture, but he does the physical acting from The Phantom Menace, and then also in Solo, a Star Wars story. So if you guys join me as we go down, first a couple of facts. I'll show you the facts, and then I'll tell you when we're about to get into speculation, okay? So first up, let's get into some really awesome, solid news that is not speculative. Okay, so here's the facts. So The Mandalorian Season 3 is already at work, in the works at Disney Plus. Now, this is really good news, and we don't have to go over the entire thing here, but basically just sources close to the production have confirmed that creator Jon Favreau has been writing Season 3 for a while, and that the art development led by Lucasfilm Vice President and Executive Creator Director Doug Chiang has been creating concepts for Season 3 for the past few weeks. And it says, we've just started pre-production and are looking into further adventures for The Mandalorian in Season 3, revealed one source. Now, they don't talk much more about like details, for instance, but what's really cool about this, and it does make a lot of sense. So like, it's not a stretch to suggest that Season 2 is not even out yet, and they're already working on Season 3. They've shot Season 2. They're working on the post-production for Season 2, but they're prepping the pre-production for Season 3. That makes sense. It's the golden ticket series right now for Disney Plus. There is no more successful show for Disney Plus right now than Mandalorian Season 1. It's time-tested. It's a fan favorite. Everybody loves it. And people have signed up in droves to the streaming service just to watch The Mandalorian. Now, Clone Wars is doing a really good job too. The first 3 episodes rocked. The next 3 episodes kind of sucked. They were okay at best. But then it gets really good in the previous 2 episodes, and I can't wait for this week's episode and those to come. So it's doing well overall. Plenty of good stuff to watch on the platform. I'm excited, and this is just makes sense. This is good business. If you have a project that you know is doing well, fan favorite, people will be coming back for Season 2. That even the ones that stayed are going to watch Season 3. You might as well get started on the pre-production for that, because it takes a long time for shows like Mandalorian to get concept art off the ground. If you're going to create and show new worlds, new locations, new sets, new characters, you have to flesh these things out, write in backstories, test it, make sure that it holds up with the universe. You can't just J.J. Abrams that bad boy and just say, you know what, whatever. You can't just Rian Johnson and say, screw the last guy. I'm making a sequel to his film, but I don't care what he was doing or where he was going with his film. You can't do that. You have to have consistency, and that's what it obviously shows, that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni took their time. They even brought in George Lucas onto set to consult, and now we're seeing George Lucas's name even on the projects for the Clone Wars, which is really cool. So we're seeing more involvement there. Now, this is going to build. I'm not just saying this because it's a separate thing. This is going to directly relate to the main theory that I've got based on a cryptic message from Ray Park. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you guys. You guys can read this if you want on your own time. I have the link in the description as always, so you can go down into the description of the video and you can click on that link and read the whole article for yourself. I always make sure you guys have those sources so you can do the research as well. And if I ever get anything wrong, you fact check me. Got it? That's part of the agreement, is I want I want honest reporting. I want to make sure you guys have the truth. But also, it's fun to speculate, and I will let you know when we get there. We're almost there, guys. So here we go. The next part of this, Ray Park. Who doesn't love Darth freaking Maul? Darth Maul was the coolest part, in my opinion, of the prequel trilogy, and there is a lot to love in the prequel trilogy. From the clones to Jango Fett, the bounty hunter action, the massive wars of the Jedi, Camino, everything that they touched upon in the prequels was awesome. World building, great. I know people have beef with Jar Jar Binks, but really there's not a whole lot more than that. You could say they made it a little too political, but Star Wars was always political in nature. So, and we can debate that at another time. But the bottom line is, ain't nothing wrong with Ray Park. Ray Park is a freaking legend. And he was in Star Wars, Solo: A Star Wars Story, The Phantom Menace. Both accounts, he was playing the physical role of Darth Maul, and he is a legend for that. He loves Sith. He lives and breathes Sith. You can take a look at all of his posts. Most all of them are Sith life, Sith happens. I mean, you can take a look at. I mean, he never stops. He lives and breathes it. He plays with lightsabers every single day, training in his backyard, in his gym. I mean, this guy's just an absolute legend. But this happened yesterday, I believe it was. So check this out. One day ago, you can see, as of the making of this video, he puts this cryptic image here. And all he says at the top, I'm going to go to here to this this post right here. It says, "This is the way." Right there is all he says. This is the way, which obviously is the quote from The Mandalorian, where Din Djarin, the main character, Mando, he says, "This is the way," and the other Mandalorians say, "This is the way," because that's the creed of the Mandalorian in the show The Mandalorian. Now, what does this mean, though? Because we haven't seen this symbol, I believe, in any of the films or in the shows, as far as I am currently aware. What does this mean? Now, even a nerd like myself, I had to do some research. So what I did here was on my cell phone, and you can do this. I'll show you how to do it. You can take a screenshot and crop it to pretty much the exact dimensions of that weird image with the circle, and then it's got the outline of the circle in white, and then it's got the like kind of crowny, starry shapes around it, going in 4 directions. Check this out. It's called reverse Google image search. So what you do is you just take a screenshot. You can save that to your phone, and then what you do is you just go tap search. There's a way to do this that you can just find. I actually put this in the link in the description as well. You can figure this out yourself. I won't walk you through it, but that's basically what I did. Is I reverse Google searched an image by uploading an image to Google and having them show me what comes up. And so what I did was I took this image, and this came up. This was the result. So you can see here, I'm going to zoom in on this for you. It says here 4 options: DNS not working, pokey edit. That was not what I was looking for. But look at the next one. Old Sith Empire, the Old Sith Empire from fandom.com. That's interesting. Then it says the Holy Adinian Empire, or Grand Book of the Sith. Now, the one for the Grand Book of the Sith is color inverted. So the white is where the black should be, the black is where the white should be. But what I did was I clicked on the one on the top right, the Old Sith Empire from fandom.com, and it says Harry right there, leading to Harry Potter. What that did was it took me here. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys kind of how I did the research for this theory. The Old Sith Empire now. So this image, which I haven't found anywhere else, and I'm a big Star Wars guy, okay? It's big time Star Wars, like into all kinds of books. I've been reading since I was a tiny kid, man, playing all the video games, studying them like almost religiously, right? And I haven't seen this image, except it took me back to one thing: the Old Republic. Now, what I'm going to show you guys here is it says other information is era, the Old Republic era, but it says that the historical information of the Sith Empire, because this is the logo for the Sith Empire, it was formed in the pre-Republic Sith Empire era, and it was formed from exiled Dark Jedi. Date established 59 BRR, and date fragmented 4000 BRR. Date reorganized was 3950 BRR as the resurrected Sith Empire. Date dissolved 4000 BRR. So this is a long time before the prequels. Okay, so if what you're gathering, and I know that the first thoughts I had was, if Ray Park is posting about this, does that mean he is going to be in the Old Republic as Darth Maul? I would suggest no. I believe that his race does the race of alien that he is does not live that long. They don't have a lifespan that long, and he would not be going back that far as a Sith. I believe that he would probably have a much shorter lifespan than perhaps even Yoda, and Yoda was 900 approximately when he died, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, and so then official language Sith, state religious body Sith. Capital is Zeost and Korriban. Now, if you guys remember, Korriban is referenced in the Clone Wars as Moraban, but Korriban was the ancient homeworld of the Sith. And so, I mean, this is it would later be recovered by both Revan's Sith Empire and reorganized Sith Empire that survived the Great Hyperspace War. And on its surface was located a Sith Academy that would be restored by the Sith Empire upon its return to the known galaxy. There's a lot of history here. I've linked both of these in the description, but this is the gist of what I'm thinking, guys. So with Ray Park posting about the Sith Empire, he's posting about the old Sith Empire pre-Old Republic and during Old Republic. I'm going to go out on a limb and suggest this. Because the only thing that was said here was, "This is the way," a catchphrase pretty much exclusive to The Mandalorian. And we know that The Mandalorian actually references, in a way, they reference the Old Republic by having the Darksaber there. The Darksaber's history goes back to the time of the Old Republic. With the I believe it was the first Mandalorian Jedi, Tar Vizsla, if I'm not mistaken. I believe his name was Tar Vizsla. And so there has been reference to that. We know Dave Filoni and we know that Jon Favreau are huge fans of Star Wars. Not Kathleen Kennedy kind of fans where they don't care about the past, let the past die, kill it if you have to, that kind of fan. They're not that kind of Star Wars fan. They love the George Lucas era Star Wars that all of us love and grew up on. The classics and everything that George had written, the old legends, they were big fans of that, big time fans. And they want to try to canonize as much of that as possible, which is why they did just that with both the Clone Wars as much as they were allowed to, and Rebels as much as they were allowed to, and now with The Mandalorian again, as much as they were allowed to, and they bring George in to consult as well. So now we're seeing The Mandalorian, which has paid homage to the classics and to the Old Republic, and we're seeing Ray Park, a fan favorite Star Wars actor, posting about the Old Republic. I'm here thinking that Ray Park has been contacted for Mandalorian Season 2 or Season 3. Could be either. Could be both. And I think that he's going to play a part. Maybe not. I don't think he's going to play Darth Maul. I think he's going to play someone else. The reason I say that is because Darth Maul is already dead by the time that The Mandalorian happens. Remember, Mandalorian is 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So after the Empire has fallen. Darth Maul died in a confrontation with Obi-Wan in Star Wars Rebels before the original trilogy. So it couldn't have, you couldn't have Darth Maul there unless it was like a Force Ghost, Force Vision, or maybe like a recording, holocron, something. And I don't think that's the case. I do not think that would be where they would go with Ray Park. I think what they'll do is what they've done with many a Star Wars actor and give them multiple roles. So we know that actors like Mark Hamill, we know Silas Carson played multiple roles. I don't know if you knew that. What about the droid attack on the Wookiees? And he can't do that, shoot her or something. That was the same guy. That was the same actor. And then you have Sam Witwer, who was from the games. He played Starkiller, also voices Darth Maul in Solo, a Star Wars story, and in Clone Wars and Rebels. He also voiced Palpatine for a little bit in, I think it was Rebels, for a short period of time, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe I can't remember what else he did in that one. I thought that was the case, but regardless, he does a lot of voice work, and he does the voice for Darth Maul now. So Sam Witwer and Ray Park collaborate together to make Darth Maul in live action. You also have Kenny Baker. You also have Jeremy Bulloch, the original Boba Fett. You also have Warwick Davis. You have Anthony Daniels. He got a second role finally in the new what's the name of the new film? Rise of Skywalker. Sorry, I don't give a lot of thought to the Rise of Skywalker anymore. It was fun. I'm not gonna lie. It was a fun movie to watch, but it just the more you think about it, the more frustrated you get. And then legendary Star Wars actors. So there's plenty more that are there that have either played multiple roles or two different actors that have played the same role, including Palpatine was played by two different people. You have like Darth Vader. The person in the bodysuit is different than the voice actor. Frank Oz is Yoda. Tim Rose. There's a lot of people that have played multiple roles in Star Wars, and so, including the voice actor for Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars was a live action character in who gets killed in The Mandalorian during episode 6, the prison break episode. Really cool stuff. A lot of doubles happening, and I do believe that someone like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, who have mad love for the character of Darth Maul and mad love and respect for Ray Park, a lot of people who have worked with him speak really highly of him. They would definitely want to try to bring him in some way. And I do think that doing a reference to the Old Republic, keep in mind, guys, my previous theory about Baby Yoda was that the goal, and this was confirmed in the last episode of The Mandalorian, I made the theory before, was that the goal was that eventually he was going to have to try to find his home people. The goal with The Mandalorian is that they're going to try to find the hidden knowledge of the universe. What is up with Yoda's species? What is their name? What is their history, culture, home planet? They don't know any of these things. All they know is that these little green dudes are really freaking force sensitive, usually light side force sensitive, almost exclusively, except for Baby Yoda force choking Cara Dune for a second. But not a lot of those guys are out there. Very rare creatures, but they're apparently coveted by the Empire for research purposes, obviously for their force sensitivities and threat to the Empire. So that to me is, I think, where they're going with this. I said before, I think that they're going to try to go to the homeworld of the Gamorreans. Not Gamorrean guards like Jabba's palace, which it is those guys, but not the big fat ones, the ripped ones like Jon Favreau posted a picture about. So I do believe we're going to see them exploring new worlds. I believe one of those will be probably Korriban, and I think that maybe, just maybe, we're going to get to see Ray Park playing either a different Sith or a different Sith in a holocron from the Old Republic. This will canonize it further, which it already is canon, by the way. Disney already recognizes the Old Republic as one of the last remnants of non-Disney Star Wars to make it into canon. And the fans have been crying out for it for years. And if there's one thing we know is that Kathleen Kennedy doesn't care what the fans want, but Dave Filoni sure does. And so Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau care about the fans. They're going to make this happen. I think we're going to get to see that. So that's my theory, is that this post, this cryptic image, leads back to the Old Republic, the Sith Empire specifically, and Korriban. And I believe that this will further canonize, recognize, and lead into some adventures that will get into the history of the Old Republic. And this will help uncover the species that is Baby Yoda and Yaddle. So that is what I'm thinking here. So that is my theory. And let me know what you guys have to say about that. I've got a lot of things that I think could happen here with this one. There really isn't a lot to go on, except we know the history of what is confirmed now. We know what happened in season 1. We know how it left off, where there's now this journey where Mando is the new caretaker for Baby Yoda. They became a little clan, but he probably is still going to be like, look, we got to try to find your family. And if we can't find your family, I'm your family. So That's just how it's going to be. And I think that he'll end up eventually, probably by season 3, finding his family or another of their species, maybe not a lot of them, but maybe one, or their home planet, understanding what happened, but not being able to reconcile that for some reason. And then Baby Yoda stays with Din Djarin and becomes the first Mandalorian of Yoda's species. I think that would be really, really freaking cool. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Clan Mudhorn. That's what it is. So I'm pumped. And honestly, I didn't make a lot of news about I haven't made a lot of videos recently. I know a lot of people have been trying to keep up with like movie news. There really isn't a lot going on right now during this economic freeze because of coronavirus. Unfortunately, all the news we're seeing right now is like it's whispers and rumors and it's flashback news. So it'll be like so-and-so almost didn't get the role of Iron Man or of whatever else. Find out what happened. And it's like a lot of it's just a lot of fluff to fill in right now. So there really isn't a lot going on. A couple of other things have been coming out. I will address those. As far as like Venom 2 got a new name, Let There Be Carnage, which is really cool. There's some rumors about Sony. Was it Sony? Yeah, Sony teaming up with Marvel and Disney to do a Venom or a Spider-Man TV series, which would be flipping amazing. I hope they do that. And honestly, and this is going to sound heretical, okay? If it's Tom Holland, that's cool with me. If it's not Tom Holland, that is also cool with me. I would not mind if they did like a Spider-Verse multiverse so that Tom can stay around the Disney Marvel side and they can also have another Spider-Man. You know, like I wouldn't mind. They could even bring back Andrew Garfield for all I care. Like they could do a number of things. So there's a lot to talk about. A lot of fun stuff, but I'm glad to be back on YouTube making videos because what I love to do is inform you guys and talk with you guys about what's going on. So I do apologize for not being so active on like social media, for instance. There is quite a bit going on. A lot of work is happening at home for me. I'm still employed at my work, except for it's happening at home for the most part. So a lot of that comes home. I got a lot of homework and it's been nice to have a lot of family time. I hope you guys can see the sunny side of the situation and enjoy time with your loved ones, with your families, learn something. And then I'm really excited to get the economy back to work because that's going to be good for our country, good for our people, and good for morale too. And people can get back to church and other very good things, very positive, wholesome things. So I'm going to go ahead and take a couple comments. What's up, Daft Detective? My man, dude, I haven't heard from you in a bit. I am so excited. I love your work. I love your channel. I am still, and I know I've said this a couple of times, it's just gotten busy. The weekends get away from me. But I am still working on the next summit. And so the next summit project is complete. I just have to record it. And I'm actually contemplating doing that live. So if you guys want me to do a live broadcast of the Fancasting Summit this time, it'll be the first time I'd ever do it live. If I get a few people that say they want to do it, I'm just going to do it that way. It's easier for me, no editing. It'll just be raw, us hanging out, and I can respond with you guys as you leave comments and stuff. It'll take a longer time, but I don't care. I just want to have fun with you guys. So what's up, Daft? You're the man. Hunter Iggy, how's it going? He says, where have you been? I miss you on YouTube. I know. I hope I explained that a little bit. It's just there really isn't a lot of tangible news. There's just delays and delays and delays because the coronavirus situation. And it really isn't about, and this is an opinion, okay? So you don't have to take my opinion here. This is just how I feel, moreover. My opinion is that this is, with the recent data that has come out, recent data from California, USC, and from Stanford has shown that the death rate of coronavirus is 0.03, which is less than the 0.1 death rate of the common flu. And in my opinion, if there are treatments, which, you know, there's plenty of studies coming out now about success rates of certain pharmaceuticals and things that are working as very successful treatments from what we've read and seen. There is no treatment for the flu. So if it's not as deadly, most people already had it, and there is a treatment for coronavirus, I think that there really is no reason why we're still indoors. And that's the opinion of someone that is very frustrated from being inside, would love to get back to work, love to take my family to a restaurant, you know, that kind of stuff. So again, I'm not a professional. I'm not anyone, you know, but I'm nobody. I am a nobody. So you don't have to take my word for it. But that's just more or less my feelings. So, you know, I respect everyone's opinion on that. But yes. So in the interview, Hunter Iggy says, in the interview with comicbook.com, I think it is, Charlie Cox says he is not in Spider-Man movie 3 or MCU because they want a different actor to play Daredevil. What if Charlie Cox jumps ship to the DCEU? What character do you see him as? That's a good question. So with I actually think that Charlie Cox would make a really good Atom if they were going to go for the first one. If you're going to go with the Ryan Choi Atom, I would not go with him, obviously, because he's Asian. I would go with, and if they're going to do the first one, I can't remember what his name is. Ray Palmer, right? Yeah, Ray Palmer. If they're going to go with Ray Palmer, I think he'd be a fair choice. He seems like he would pull that off really well. But I prefer to have Charlie Cox stay as Daredevil. He's doing a really good job. I mean, there's a few other people that I think could play Daredevil in the MCU. Like you could, for instance, you could get Jensen Ackles. I mean, you could get what's the other guy that looks exactly like Jensen Ackles? It's Justin Hartley, you know, and he was someone who played the Green Arrow in Smallville. I think either of those guys would work really nicely for Daredevil. Yeah, it could be very, very cool. I think Justin Hartley would be my pick of the two of those for that role. So that's what I'm thinking there. I really do think Charlie Cox is such an underrated actor. Daredevil is one of the most brilliantly perfect trilogy season shows maybe ever. I really, really love what they did on Netflix with his show. Some of the other shows, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, they clearly had their problems. Very obviously had problems. But Iron Fist season 2 was really good. Iron Fist season 1 was, I think it was too convoluted. There was too many villains, and Danny Rand was not allowed to be the Iron Fist that we know and love him to be. It's like they wanted his character arc to wait until till like season 2 to actually be Iron Fist. And even then, it's like he was Iron Fist, but then he's like struggling to still be Iron Fist. It's like, just let him be Iron Fist. You know, like the villains are problem enough. They don't all have to be like super conflicted. That doesn't have to, you know, like, I heard a joke. I can't remember who told it, but I think it might've been Norm Macdonald, but it was basically like, what's up with all these superheroes that are like so conflicted that they're like, oh, who's worse? You know, like Batman's over here thinking to himself all depressed. He's like, oh, am I as bad as the Joker? And you're like, no, you're clearly not. And it's like, let the hero be a hero. You know, they're the good guy. You can have a Spider-Man dilemma where there's one mistake made, and it's like, you know, like more than one mistake, but for instance, you know, like with his uncle, the situation that kind of like haunted him, and then he moves forward from that. You don't have to have him stay conflicted and he can't be the person he is. No, you can let him be Iron Fist. He's Iron Fist. Let him be all zen and stuff. That would have been nice to have him be like super zen and basically untouchable. Like, people watch One Punch Man. You don't have to have someone that's like always losing and then have him build up to something that's like a moderate success win. Like, you can have him storm the gates of freaking hell and destroy everybody that comes his way. Iron Fist is basically that guy. Iron Fist is like the guy you do not want to mess with. He is the greatest fighter in the Marvel Universe, even better than Captain America, even better than, for instance, Wolverine. There's a lot of fantastic hand-to-hand combatants. Iron Fist is the top. And so like those shows on Netflix, there were faults in most of them. But I will say, Daredevil's show, I really, legit, I don't have any problems with that show. I don't. To me, that is a perfect show, start to finish. The only thing that I wish happened was that it didn't stop. That's it. I wish that they had gone for season 4 and let the villain characters that were built play out. That's what I want. I want more of that because it's amazing. Cast, perfect. Script, perfect. Stories, perfect. It's just brilliant the way that they did it. And I think Punisher season 1 was all. I think, does it have 2 seasons? I think it does have 2 seasons. But Punisher, from coming out of Daredevil season 1 is kind of his first season, and then you have Punisher season 1, and I think there's a second season for that one too. But really, really good stuff. I hope that they come to their senses and just allow that to kind of carry over into the MCU, because it would be a shame to not let that happen. I know they're more mature. I know it's bloodier and stuff. I know there's like cursing and, you know, even some sexual content, but you've got to allow that to have some sort of crossover. If you wanted to, you could bring the PG-13 characters over into the Netflix verse. You know what I mean? Like if you let them do that, you could just have Netflix pay royalties to Marvel, to Disney, for those character crossover rights. You know, like that would be pretty. I think that'd be a good deal. Again, Marvel wants to have total control over these characters. I understand that. I get that. But whatever, you know, it'll play out the way that they want it to, unfortunately. And I do believe they'll do a good job with it, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. I think it'll be harder to beat Charlie Cox's Daredevil than it would be to beat Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. And I mean that, because Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, awesome as it is, fantastic, it's still pretty far from comic book accurate until you get to Logan. Like, all of the appearances he had were really, really awesome. All of the movies, they were all centered around him. He was the main character. That's why people loved him so much. He actually carried those films. But he's taller than almost the entire cast. He's like long and even though he bulked out by the end of it, he was still longer and a little more slender. It's like Wolverine has always been shorter, stouter, much more Canadian, you know, and like he's rougher, hairier, you know, like he's not comic book accurate. So for someone to take over the Wolverine role will be much easier if they are more comic book accurate. As long as they do a good job acting wise, all they need to be is more comic book accurate, and they will stand out the way that they need to compete against Hugh Jackman. Because Hugh is forever going to be beloved. He's forever going to be loved and awesome. He was great, and he is great. But there's more wiggle room for success. With Charlie Cox's Daredevil, it was freaking spot on. It was comic book accurate. The stories were phenomenal. The crossovers were legendary. The villains were perfect. And there really was no flaws. Like, there was nothing wrong with Charlie Cox's Daredevil as far as I've seen. So, good luck, Marvel. They won't have a problem doing better, I think. And this is not to knock Finn, whatever his name is. But you will successfully be able to replace Iron Fist. You will successfully be able to replace Jessica Jones. You will successfully be able to replace Luke Cage, even though I think all three of them were great. I really do. But you won't have a problem. You'll have a problem replacing Charlie Cox, though. He did a fantastic job. And you'll have a hard time replacing John Bernthal, too. That's going to be another really bad one to try to stack up to, because he was sick. And he was already a repeat actor. There was already other people that played him previously. So, yeah, that's what I think. So now let's see. We've got, he reminds me of Owlman or Nightwing. Actually, yeah. So I will say I don't think that Charlie Cox, in my opinion, would be great for Nightwing. I don't see him as a Nightwing. He's not enough of a pretty boy to me. But and when I say pretty boy, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, because Nightwing's like my favorite, but there is an element of he has to be the pretty boy. I would for Nightwing, I would aim a little bit closer to, for instance, what's his name? Robbie Amell. I would look for someone closer to a Robbie Amell look. I really like the Nightwing on Titans. I think that Titans has a good Nightwing. He's a little bit smaller than I would have wanted him to be. Maybe a little shorter too, but I do think that they're on the right track there. So to me, that's kind of where it is. Owlman, though, that's a good call. If they're going to do the crime syndicate from alternate Earth, whatever it is, I forget what the Earth is. But yes, heck yes. He would pull off evil Batman so well. He would do such a good job. That would be very exciting. I love Owlman. I actually have an Owlman Funko Pop on my shelf. I really like that character. That's one of my favorite villain characters. Just because even though it is like doppelganger, it's like evil twin doppelganger. It's still a really fun character, and the costume design is really good. And just the kind of character parallel from going from Bat to Owl. I mean, it's symbolically similar, and it's just fun. I really like that character. Yes, I would definitely vote for Charlie Cox to play Owlman. Very, very good call. So I like that. And I will be doing more fan casting soon as well. So I'll wrap this one up if we don't have any more comments. But guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. If you want to do the research, everything is linked down below in the description so that you can check that out for yourself. Do the research and fact check me if you want. If I said something that wasn't accurate, please let me know. So because I always want to make sure that there's accountability between people that are delivering news and people that are receiving that news. I don't want you guys to be blind sheep. I want you guys to be able to always question everything, do the research, look it up for yourselves. Be the Berean, do that, do the study, do the research, do your homework. That way you can be part of that legend as well as it goes on. And that's what's fun too, because when you see stuff like this that doesn't seem to make any sense, you can make a whole lot of sense out of it when you realize that it's referencing the old Sith Empire pre-Old Republic, like pre-Old Republic. So I think this is going to have a lot to do with This Is the Way from The Mandalorian. I think The Mandalorian is going to have to travel to Korriban probably. If not Korriban, it'll have to be Ziost, I believe, is the capital of Korriban, which was later referred to as Moraban. So we'll find out whether or not that's the case. And I surely hope that it's coming from Ray Park, because Ray Park is now part of the show. That would be so cool. I don't care what role he plays. I want more of Ray Park. Make him another bounty hunter for all I care. Give him more screen time. This guy deserves it. He's a legend. G.I. Joe, Phantom Menace, X-Men. He played Toad in the X-Men. He was in Sleepy Hollow, Heroes, Mortal Kombat, Annihilation. Guy's a savage, and I love this guy. So hopefully you guys do too. Daniel's Hot Topics, what's up, my man? You're catching the end of this video. Sorry, if you ask questions before I wrap, I will still answer it, but I'm getting ready to wrap. So that's the theory, guys. Let me know what you have to say about this. Do you think that Ray Park is going to be part of The Mandalorian based on the comment of this Instagram post where he says, "This is the way"? And do you think that because he posted that image, it means that they are going to travel to the old Sith Empire locations of Korriban, Moraban, or Ziost, the capital? Let me know what you guys have to say about all of this down in the comments below. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Also, before you go, make sure you head over to the link in the description to check out my TeePublic so you can support my channel and get yourself a ton of sick merch. So if you guys like all kinds of like t-shirts, mugs, also face masks during this coronavirus situation. They're not medical masks, they're just style masks, but any mask is what's required right now for public use, not for medical use, but for public use. But if you want, you can get all of that stuff right here. So for instance, check this puppy out. Made this one just for you guys for that St. Patrick's Day look. Hope you like that. But there's also a tab here, and I linked this down below, so you can get all kinds of Star Wars fan merch that I created in t-shirts, sweaters, tank tops, hoodies, long sleeves, pillows, bags, wall art, stickers, pins, all kinds of merch. And you can get that here. Your favorite Jedi and Sith lightsabers, Inquisitors. You can get your favorite rifles from Star Wars universe, whether it's Boba Fett's EE3 carbine rifle, or you can get Leia Organa's SCX30 blaster rifle. Pretty cool stuff. You can just click here and say, hey, I like Captain Phasma, which you might not. And you can go here and you can get, boom, look at that. Nice t-shirt right here. You can change that color if you want, the background color to black, to red, whatever you like. And then you can come here and you can check out, oh look, we got mugs. It's got a design wrapping around that mug. You can get that blaster all over there. See that? And that's going to help me out. So if you want to support my channel, you can do that right now. Add it to your cart, ship it to your house, and be part of the Stuff of Legend. Post it on social media, and I will repost your post as a thank you for supporting my channel. So thank you guys very, very much. Now, again, if you guys like to join this channel, be sure to tune in for the live streams by clicking subscribe, then the bell button, and then you can add all notifications. That way, whenever I go live, you get notified. You can be part of this, and like Daniel's Hot Topics, you can ask questions in the last few moments of the show so that I can answer them for you, just like I'm about to do right now before we close. So last comment is, Daniel's Hot Topic says, Darth Maul died in Star Wars Rebels, and Mandalorian takes place after Star Wars Rebels. So Darth Maul is dead. He cannot come back on the Mandalorian unless they clone him. Wrong. So you're right about everything that you said except for the very last part. Yes, and I did talk about this before, so you'll be able to review this video and go back and see that I already said this. But Darth Maul died in Rebels, 100% correct, and that takes place before the original trilogy. What happens then is that, or it's like during the beginning part of the original trilogy. After episode 6, and Darth Maul is already dead, you have 5 years, and then the Mandalorian takes place. Why do I think that is going to show up in the Mandalorian? Because, and I'll show you really quick one last time, because I care very, very much about you guys, but there are plenty of actors that have played multiple roles, and this is where I think that this is going to come in. So even the voice actor from Clone Wars and Rebels that voices Anakin Skywalker, he actually played a role, a physical role and a vocal role in The Mandalorian Season 1 in Episode 6. He was the guard that got shot on the prison. So you have characters that play multiple roles all the time. And many of those are like Mark Hamill, Silas Carson. You have Sam Witwer, who is Darth Maul, for instance. He's the voice of Darth Maul, and the body of Darth Maul is played by Ray Park, both of which have played multiple characters, including Starkiller in the video game series, but also other voices in the Clone Wars. I think for a short period of time, he voiced the Emperor Palpatine in the Clone Wars. And so you can see that there's a lot of room for characters and actors to be played by either multiple actors or a single actor playing multiple roles. Don't even get me started on D. Bradley Baker. So you've got all kinds of examples where this happens all the time, and it's just part of the beast. I mean, they honor characters and actors that have been part of the franchise's legacy for so many years. So it's not outside of the realm of possibility that Ray Park comes back, but Darth Maul doesn't. So Darth Maul stays dead, but Ray Park comes back as either a bounty hunter, a different Sith from the ancient Korriban world, pre-Old Republic era, just like he's teasing on his social media. So again, use the links in the description down below so that you can visit the image, the reverse Google search image that I did here to find this data. You can check it out for yourself, but clearly it's the symbol of the Sith Empire pre-Old Republic era for the pre-Republic Sith Empire and the exiled Dark Jedi. Very, very cool stuff. I think this means we can expect to see, and this is my speculation, again, I'm reiterating, I think this means we'll see not Darth Maul, but we'll see Ray Park in a different role. So that's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about these facts, again, your opinion is as good as mine, but take a look at the facts and let me know if you don't see what I'm seeing at least. So appreciate it. One more thing you have to say. This will be the true last comment. Okay, so let me go to this here. All right, so I'm getting $700. Daniel's Hot Topic says, I'm getting $700 this month, so I will get a Nintendo Switch Lite and either Hyrule Warriors or Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I gotta say, I've heard really good things about Hyrule Warriors. My buddy has it. But Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I have myself. It's really cool. A lot of people are playing that right now. It's a really fun game, and you don't really get tired of it. It's something that you can play over and over. You can have people over at your house and play together. Really, really cool. So I like that game. I've always been a fan of Super Smash Brothers. So and Link's in there too, and he's really good for cheap combos if you want to get good with boomerangs, bombs, and arrows. So that's my take. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for more next time right here on The Stuff of Legend.
Hey guys, D-Lo here. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And remember to share this video with all of your nerd friends. I know you got them, and you know who they are. Leave a comment below and let me know what you thought about this discussion. Let me know what you would like to see me do a video on next. Subscribe to the channel because you're a legend, and we have that in common. Also be sure to turn on notifications to be notified right away when I upload my next video, or so that you can be alerted when I go live next time. That way you'll never miss a thing. Check out the other videos on the channel so that we can have a discussion on all your favorite movies and TV topics. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more right here on The Stuff of Legend.